prophecy by nature is something that demands to be studied, to be investigated, and to be put to the test. Please do join Sharissa and myself as we get together this Friday to answer your questions on Facebook Live, The End. Daniel stood in front of Nebuchadnezzar. He gave the interpretation of the dream, and he stated with absolute confidence that the dream was certain and the interpretation sure. We can read that same prophecy 2,500 years later, and not a detail of that prophecy has failed. That dream is just as certain, it is just as sure today as it was back then. He describes a couple of things that Nebuchadnezzar saw, the first of them being a great image standing on the earth. And the head of the image was made out of gold, the chest of silver, the thighs of brass, the legs of iron, the feet part of iron and part of clay. And then as he's watching this great image, he sees this stone cut out by supernatural power. The stone comes hurtling down through space and it hits this image on its feet. It smashes the whole thing to 1,000 pieces. And then the stone that hits the image becomes a great mountain and fills the whole earth. The Bible tells us exactly what the head of gold symbolizes. The head of gold symbolizes the Babylonian Empire. Who was it that conquered the Babylonians? They were conquered by the Persians, the Medo-Persian coalition. Who conquered the Persian Empire, the Achaemenid dynasty of the Persian Empire? Alexander the Great, who comes along and establishes the Greek Empire. And so who conquered the Greek Empire? Well, we all know that the Romans came along and conquered the Greek Empire, established an empire themselves that would last 3 times longer than any previous empire. It would be the model for all globalist enterprises from that day to this. We have 2,500 years of evidence on which we base our faith and our trust in the reality of the return of Jesus Christ. There is only one detail left, that is the coming of Jesus Christ. This dream is just as sure as it has ever been, and the coming of Christ is closer than it has ever been. My question to you today is very, very simple. Do you want to be ready for Jesus to come back?